Welcome to the Dave Palma Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Palma.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Palma Show. And with me in this episode, I have a speaker, author, and weight loss and wellness coach with a passion to help people achieve optimal health. Olivier Mankondo, welcome to the Dave Palma Show.
Thank you very much for having me, Dave. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure to have you as well, Oliver. And as I say, well-being. I mean, I was into fitness. I was actually a Commonwealth Games athlete, actually semi-finalist. So
Yeah.
fitness from the school age was a big thing for me. And obviously, I was a firefighter. But obviously, weight loss is the key area. You know, most people do go in the gym actually, and weight loss is one of the main things that gets spoken about. Of course, it is nutrition as well, and that's what your story is about, mainly around the kind of diet you chose and things like that.
Yeah.
And we're going to get you to talk about that actually, but obviously we want to inspire the audience a bit, and get them to hear your story before all this happened, and maybe even go further back than that. You know, how it happened. So tell us your story about how it happened, what your struggle was, and what you did to turn it around. Let's hear your story, Oliver.
Yeah. So my story is like this. So before I changed my lifestyle, my health was not very good at all.
Okay.
I was suffering from high blood pressure, and people should know that 50% of heart attack are created by high blood pressure. And you can have as well kidney failure, heart failure,
Oh, right. I didn't know you could have
vascular dementia and stuff like that. And I even remember I spent a day and a half in the hospital because my blood pressure went through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from that, I had massive headaches every day or every other day. And in fact, I had to have some painkillers in my wallet all the time because the pain was unbearable. I had dandruffs. For example, if I have to comb my hair, you will see dandruff all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I had chest pain, back pain, abscesses every single week. I had to have some abscesses. And for my bad back, I even remember I spent a week at home. I didn't go to work because my back was killing me. I also had a heartburn. So whenever I was eating, I was really feeling very bad, especially when I was eating beans. And I would say every 2 to 3 months, I had to see the dentist because of my bad eating habit. So, for example, I would have a bottle of Coca-Cola with some biscuits, some chocolate, some cakes at midnight. So it was really, really bad. And at that time, my weight was 15 and a half stone. And my BMI was 32. And when your BMI is over 30, you are classed as obese. So basically, I was obese.
Yeah.
And what was happening as well is that I was tired all the time. So, for example, on the day where I had to go to work, I was dragging myself out of bed. And on the day when I was off, I would sleep until 1 p.m. because I was so tired. And I was always out of breath, especially at the last place where I was working. I was working as an optical technician.
Yeah.
And the lab was in the basement. So all the time I had to climb the stairs and I was always out of breath. And with my big belly, it was very difficult for me, for example, to tie my shoes up. And I will sometimes ask my kids to do that.
Oh,
so my life was not very good at all. And I was not stressed as such, but I was a little bit scared because my health was getting worse and worse. And I thought maybe it's because of my age and stuff.
Yeah. Can I just say before you go on, I'll start off with because of your age and stuff in a minute, but what was your lifestyle like to get you in that situation? I mean, obviously you wasn't, in that situation. It must have crept up on you, to get to that health. What was it your lifestyle that got you there, or?
Yeah, I think it's just the way that I was eating. I was eating, they call it the standard American diet, where you eat
Okay.
a lot of processed food,
Yeah.
fast food, junk food.
Fast food,
So
yeah.
basically that's what I was eating all the
Yeah.
time. I
Processed
was
food,
not, yeah,
processed food and sugars, those are the two
yeah,
main killers, aren't they, really? So, if you
yeah,
can stay away from those
yeah,
as much as possible.
yeah. Because as a race, 51% of what we eat is processed food.
Yeah.
42% are animal product, and only 7% are fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
And in those 7%, the majority is potatoes to make French fries. So we
Right.
eat very, very little of fresh produce.
Yeah.
And basically that's what was the way I was eating. So lots of processed food, lots of animal product, and dairy product and all that. And snacks at all time, biscuit, chocolate, cookies, and so that's
Yeah.
what I was eating all the time.
Some people say they're lucky they eat all this stuff and then they haven't even put on a single weight or whatever. Well, they probably do actually, but not obese. But
Yeah,
it's still damaging their health somehow, especially sugar and sugary stuff and
yeah,
fat as well. But you need
yeah,
fat. You need some fats anyway because there's
yeah,
transportation systems to transport all the nutrients around your brain and muscles and everything. But of course,
yeah,
people just don't do it right, do they?
yeah. No,
So, so yeah. So you thought it was an age-related thing, and obviously
yeah.
you
So
don't look old to me. So I mean, it can't be that, can it?
yeah. At that time when I started, I was 46. Today I'm
Uh,
53.
okay,
So yeah.
it's 3 years
So I
young.
thought,
You're younger than
yeah,
me.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, still, it's still a young age to be encountering all that. Really, that's people.
yeah,
That's half their age of what they live till. So you had a
yeah,
long life to still live. Really.
yeah. Yes. Yeah, so I
So,
thought it was maybe the age. And when I went to the doctor, he told me that I will be on medication for the rest of my life. But I find it very odd. And at that time, I said, no, I can't go on medication. And he said, what are you going to do? I said, okay, I will try to do some martial arts. So I joined a karate club. Thinking that my blood pressure will go down, but it didn't change anything.
mm,
And just one day in 2016, it was a certain Wednesday, I was watching a program on YouTube, and there's an Indian yogi who suggested that by stopping eating animal product, it was possible to reverse 70% of all the chronic diseases.
mm,
And because I was already in bad shape, I said to myself, why not try it?
yeah.
So on Wednesday, it was on Wednesday. On Thursday, I came back from work and I had my last meal of meat. And on Friday, I went cold turkey.
Yeah.
And it's been now 7 years. I've not
Yes.
had any
Yes.
animal product. I've stopped mostly all the processed food. And what happened is that my blood pressure went away. All my chronic diseases went away. So, and for the last 7 years, I've not been sick a single day.
Mm,
And I've not taken a single pill for all these years. And I was able to lose 5.5 stone.
yeah.
So basically, that's how I got into this lifestyle.
Yeah, fantastic. I always have a job trying to get I have an 8-year-old daughter. I'm trying to get her off all that, and
Yeah.
it's hard, isn't it? They still like their McDonald's, really, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
All the sweets and candies and whatever. So it's not
Yeah,
really easy to be around all that, and then that's the challenge for me anyway. But yeah, certainly being an ex-athlete, fitness was my thing, and if it's a well-oiled engine, nutrition plays a big part of that as
yeah,
well. So you're
yeah,
not going to be moving properly.
yeah,
But yeah, that's very important. So when you changed to this plant-based diet, I mean, how did you do that? Tell us how so people know they can be inspired by what actually happened. What happened there then? From when you watched the yogi that day and suddenly made you think that's my last piece of meat I'm going to eat after that.
yeah.
What happened? How did that transition go?
Yeah, yeah. So for me, I went cold turkey. And the week after, it was very, very difficult, even though I lost 11 pounds, but it was difficult because I had lots of detox symptoms. I had more headaches that I never had in my entire life. I had more cold sore, more
Oh,
abscesses. My joints started to ache even more. And
yeah.
even my wife asked me to stop. But I was so determined that I continued. And after a week, all these detox symptoms went away, and are starting to feel a lot of energy, mental clarity, and stuff like that. But personally, I don't advise people to go cold turkey because of all these detox symptoms. And a lot of people are phased out when they start like that. They're starting to have maybe diarrhea, or they start having some rashes, and they will stop. So to avoid that, they need to go step by step, so they don't have to go to
like a
So I don't
semi-vegetarian
advise people,
that kind
So
of thing,
of having animal product, for example, 7 days a week, maybe they can cut it down to 5 days a week. And then, for example, for the dairy product, they will so reduce that slowly.
Semi-skim milk and then skim milk like that, and then no milk or soya milk and then that kind of thing. Just kind of like just slowly add, just take things or replace things. Oh, that makes sense. So that's how you did it basically in the end, or did you just get the cold turkey symptoms like you mentioned and then just did it that way, or did you have...
So for me,
go on.
So for me, I didn't go step by step. I went cold turkey. Went cold turkey, and it was difficult, like I said, for the first week. Very difficult, and like I said, my wife even asked me to stop, but I said no, because I've decided I'll continue. But that's why I just don't advise people to go cold turkey. It's better to go step by step, little by little, and at that time the transition is more easier, and you avoid having all these detox symptoms. So that's what I would like people to do.
Fantastic. So of course, talking about all this and how you had these symptoms, you finally lost your weight. How did that all go? How did you see that happen?
So it was happening slowly. So for example, the first week I lost 11 pounds, and even when I started that journey, I had no idea that I was going to lose weight, because I'm originally from Africa, so over there weight is not a problem. I've seen people who are big. It's never been a problem. Even me here in the UK, I was big, but my problem was the high blood pressure. There was the way I was feeling, but being big was never a problem for me. So when I started to lose weight, it was really surprising. The first week I lost 11 pounds, and gradually it was I starting to lose the weight, and after 9 months I was able to lose 5.5 stone. So that's how it happened. It happened gradually. It was not like a steep. It was you lose weight.
So after about a year or 2 years, you lost all the weight, did you? Or
no, after 9 months.
9 months. So well, that's not too long.
After 9 months,
I mean, there are people that swear by various different diets. The biggest one I've had, I wouldn't say fad, but I don't know, because there's so many different kinds of diet. I mean, plant-based is a natural one. It's a natural way to go, isn't it, really? But of course, there's the intermittent dieting one, and things like that. And that's the kind of main one now. I don't know how they say it also can cure some illnesses and things like that. I don't know how that fared with what you was doing. Some people do it to detox.
So for me, I do that intermittent fasting. So what I do, I only eat twice a day. With no snacking in between. So I will eat at 12 and at 12 p.m. at 7 p.m.
Okay, so you do the 16-hour one. About 8 hours in between. 16-hour fasting. That
but
seems
the difference with me is that other people, what they do, they don't eat for 16 hours and they eat in that window of 8 hours. But for me, even in that window, I only eat twice. I don't have any snacking.
You just have to eat sensibly still, don't you, really? What a lot of people don't realize is, I mean, that's a sensible intermittent dieting one. It just means you kind of like have breakfast late, I suppose. But a lot of people, they kind of like, some family settings or even in the hotels, they have dinner at 6. Next thing, they don't have breakfast until 8 in the morning. So that's almost 14 hours anyway without food, isn't it? Really, when you think about how people eat anyway, generally. And I used to go for a morning jog, so that made it even later on the weekend, especially. I probably wouldn't have eaten until 7, maybe the night before, and then the next thing I go for a morning session. Well, mind you, you'd have to have something to eat, I suppose. Sometimes it depends. I don't want to go into too much science, sports science, because you can go for a low aerobic exercise without any food to get into the fatty reserves and burn that. You can't do intensive workout. You have to have some kind of glycogen restoration. So, I mean, anyone listening, you should really consult someone, a personal trainer or something like that, or yourself, because you know what you're doing now. But these things are obviously, if you try these things out, sometimes it's nice to have a personal trainer or a coach like yourself to do that. And we're going to come on to your coaching in a minute. So before we do that, your journey was that you finally, obviously we were speaking about intermittent dieting as well, which obviously is something you can do even if you've lost the weight, just maintenance. It's called maintenance, isn't it? Weight maintenance or weight management. But your journey was that you managed to shift that 5.5 stones that needed to go to get the health, if anything, reversed or managed, which a lot of people will be listening and, oh, what? I've got to get this, or stop it, prevent it with people that don't have health issues. It will prevent it, won't it? Yeah. So, but for the most part, as I say, a good percentage of people that think I want to find a gym is not only because they're out of shape, it's because they do feel I want to lose a bit of weight, and there's no shame in that. There's lots of boxers that want to lose weight before their fights, aren't there? Or martial arts or combat sport people, or even anyone really. It's not something that affects any gender, weight, or race or anything. It's just something people would look to do. So on that note, how would you be able to help people? What's your coaching and everything else about? Because I've seen some work you've done around that as well. Could you tell us?
So basically what I do is I've got 16 one-on-one coaching program, and in that program I primarily help women over 30 to lose weight, even if they've struggled for years. And in what I do is that I don't do calorie counting. There's no portion sizing. They don't necessarily have to join a gym. They can do stuff like walking, like jogging, and stuff like that. But mainly, there's no calorie counting, no
so throw the kitchen scales away. And the kitchen jugs, throw them away.
So
don't throw them away, really. Don't throw them away. Just keep them in a cupboard somewhere for the time being.
Because when you eat the food biologically designed for the human mechanism, it's become very difficult to put on weight. For example, when you look at gorillas in the forest, we share 99% of the same DNA. But what do they eat? They eat fruit, vegetables, and tender roots. And they do not eat meat, and you don't see any fat gorilla. They don't exist.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they didn't eat meat. I was all scared of gorillas. They might eat me. I was always scared when I see them, like in a safari or something. Oh, they might eat me.
No.
So they don't eat no meat at all. That's okay.
They don't eat meat.
So I wonder. I went to a safari with my daughter, and then she sat down next to an orangutan and started playing with it. And they're very friendly creatures, aren't they? Orangutans. And it's the same thing. They just eat bananas and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. They are frugivores, just like us.
Apparently, bananas have there was something years ago in research that bananas have the same amount of DNA. I don't know if that was a joke or something, but a piece of fruit having the same DNA as humans. I don't know if that's right. But anyway, right. So let's get back to throw away don't throw away the scales, but don't get obsessed with weighing or anything like that. So what else about your program then?
So basically what I was saying, that I primarily help women over 30 to lose weight, even if they've struggled for years. So what I do is that they go on my masterclass. In the masterclass, they will watch all the video where I describe the 5 biggest mistakes that women over 30 makes when trying to lose weight. And towards the end of the masterclass, if they are interested, they can book a call with me. And on that discovery call, we're going to see why they got stuck. We're going to I will give them a roadmap to help them move forward. And after that, if there's a good fit, and then we can work together, and I will help them lose weight and especially reclaim their health. Because for most people, they think that what is really important is to lose weight. But what is most important is to be in good health. Because when you are
Yes.
eating the food biologically designed for the human mechanism, necessarily you will lose the weight. And
Yes.
for
Yeah.
example, if you look at my uncle, lost my uncle last year. He was 58.
All right.
He
That's
was
the same age
slim.
as me. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah. So,
slim,
yeah.
but he died from diabetes. So
Oh,
people
yeah.
need to understand that being slim doesn't necessarily means being in
Well,
good
actually,
health.
one of the symptoms is losing a lot of weight when you have diabetes. So if it does take over your body, you could lose even more weight, and then people won't realize, will they?
Exactly.
And it's such a complicated, cause such complications if you're not taking the medications with
Yeah.
diabetes. There must have been a lot of problems during the pandemic as well with people trying to keep up their medications and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, no, that is really interesting. I mean, the thing about it is that all the nutrients are mostly um, in plants anyway.
Yeah.
And for protein, well, I suppose what do you do for that? I mean, I'm still a meat eater myself, but what would you do? I mean, I try and stick with chicken and fish. Most of my life I've been like that, and maybe a boiled egg or something. But if I went totally plant-based, what would I have to do to get the protein to the same level? I mean, there's some B vitamins that are missing as well and things like that, aren't there?
Yeah, because that's what people think. But the question that I keep asking people, for example, if you look at the biggest land animal on Earth, it's the elephant.
Yeah.
The elephant doesn't eat meat. Where does
No.
he get his protein from? Because
Yeah.
all these animals, they need protein. But what do they get their protein from? From the leaves that they eat, or from the grass that they eat, or
Mm.
just the example that I gave you from, for example, the gorillas. They don't eat meat. Where do
Yeah.
they get their protein from? It's from the fruit, vegetables, and then the roots that they eat. So that's exactly where I get my protein from, because I've been vegan for 7 years and
Yeah.
I'm not protein deficient. And I get my protein from the tofu. I get that from the lentils, the beans,
Yes. Yeah.
the kale, and all that. All
Yeah.
these produce are full of protein. And people are really they always think about protein, but even when you look at the mother's milk, there's only 2% of protein. So we don't really need too much protein
Which
to be
milk,
able to
sorry?
function correctly. The mother's milk.
Oh, mother's
When
milk.
when the
Yeah,
mother
yeah.
is
Yeah, yeah.
breastfeeding,
Yeah.
there's only 2% of protein in that milk. So we don't really need too much protein as we've been brainwashed to believe.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's where I get my protein from.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, what is said is that it's mainly beans, legumes, and nuts. Seeds. Even
Yeah,
those are the things
yeah,
that will actually give you the kind of superfoods, if you like, for.
yeah, yeah,
And then of course it has that other nutrients in there as well, compared to meat as well. So,
yeah.
um, but I suppose, yeah, there's some people say, like myself, I love my bit of salmon every now and then. But I suppose you could treat yourself every now and then, couldn't you, really? So, um, because it's got omega-3, things like that. But then you can always supplement yourself if you don't have that, things like that. So.
Yeah.
Great. Well, tell us more about your course and how people can get hold of you and take part in that if when they check out your website.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to give your viewers or your listeners a free gift. I'll
Yeah.
give you so you can put the link in the show notes. It's 7 tips to lose weight
Yeah.
that they can have. And why they can find me as well is they can go on my website, which is oliviermankondo.com. That's oliviermankondo.com. And over there, they will see all about me. And if they would like as well to purchase my book, they can go through my website or they can go to Amazon. And the book is called The Plant-Based Nutrition, How It's Going to
Okay.
Change Your Life.
Yeah.
So basically, that's
And look out for that.
Get hold of me.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, Olivier, it's a great pleasure having you in the show. Thanks a lot for coming and sharing your story today with my audience.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be on your show and to share my story. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, or head over to my website, davepalmer.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Palmer Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.